Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Our next guest was doing genealogy research on our family and came across a little brown notebook that belonged to her grandma, who had a job as a switchboard operator. That spawned the idea for this fictional novel, The Operator. Gretchen Berg is the author, and she joins us now via Skype. Hello, Gretchen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to see you. First of all, you look adorable, and I want to tell everybody you're a little younger than me, but we went to high school together. It's so wonderful to see you again.
Thank you. I can't see you guys. I don't know if that's a normal thing.
Yeah, that's like a technology thing. I'll send you a
Okay.
picture of me.
Okay.
Congratulations on the success of your book. I have it right here. And I called you a while ago and told you that our book reviewer, Carol Barrowman, picked this as one of her must-read books.
That was so great.
Yeah, congratulations. Tell us about this book, the inspiration for it, and a little bit about the plot.
Yeah, so I really had been very deep into the genealogy research, and this is the brown notebook. Your producer mentioned brown notebook, and I said, oh, I have that. So this is the little brown notebook. My mom had said, oh, your grandma was the family historian, and this was her little research notebook. And when I took it out, you can see like the first, some like 50 pages are totally blank, and then she really gets into it. So there was a lot that I found out during the research, and then my mom had said, oh, she was a switchboard operator, and I thought, what a cool job. I mean, and just connecting the two of those, as she said, she was a switchboard operator and she used to eavesdrop on all the calls, and I thought, okay, that could be something. So.
Oh my gosh. Is the notebook juicy? I think it's fascinating. The first 50 pages or so are blank.
Yeah, it's not juicy. Like it really is. It's got names and dates and birthplaces but as it goes on, and I mentioned this, I incorporated it into the novel, that you can see in some of the parts the pen gets very, very dark, as if she were angrily writing about stuff. And then there's a lot of really like stream of consciousness weirdness, and then there's stuff like she dated like 1928, these were the popular songs. So this, I mean, all of this stuff goes into the book. So it was kind of like being inside my grandma's brain, the little notebook. But yeah, so
That's
that
so
worked.
neat. Was her name Vivian?
No. Her name was Elaine, but I thought, and Vivian's very much a fictional character, but I felt like Vivian and Elaine are similar names, like kind of that lofty, pretty,
I love it. And it's historical fiction. I always wonder, for you as an author and other people who write historical fiction, how important it must be to get certain facts absolutely correct.
I think it's really important. It was funny. I was reading an interview with another woman who does historical fiction, and she said, oh, I don't do that much research. And I just thought, oh, wow, I have to. It drives me crazy. And like the dumbest, littlest things, like what did a driver's license look like in 1952? Just little details like that. And I found out there was something that I missed that I couldn't possibly have figured out. But my agent's husband had read the book, and he said, oh, Lucky Strike cigarettes didn't have filters. So
That's important.
I was like, oh, okay. I mean, didn't even occur to me to Google that. So
That's
yeah, but all the
fascinating.
details are really important. Yeah.
What about the poetry in the book? Is it actually your grandmother's?
Yeah. I think this was another thing that my mom said, your grandma wrote some poetry and she would submit it to the local newspaper. And I had been working with this wonderful woman, and her name was Elaine too, Elaine Fletty at the Wayne County Public Library. She had helped me a lot with my genealogy research. And I asked her if she looked up some of the old newspapers and was able to find like all of the poems that go into the book. So they were actually published, which I thought was really neat. Yeah.
That's so neat. Okay, real quick, two things. First of all, what have you always been writing ever since like high school and college? Has that been what you've always been doing, as being an author?
No. In high school I was writing notes,
Me too.
Right? That's all I would do. And I remember, my parents were always like, oh, you should work on your writing. You should be writing. Why don't you write? And I'd be like, eh. But back then, you also wrote letters. So I wrote letters to my friends that were at different colleges. that was my form of writing. I started blogging like in the mid 2000s, just about like where I was traveling, and it wasn't very focused. It was just sort of a whatever I was feeling like writing that day, and then I would get some feedback. And I had a friend that was like, "Oh, I love your writing," and she hired me to do her copywriting for a company that she started. So yeah, it wasn't something that I was always like, oh, I want to write. It just sort of kind of happened.
Good for you. You've already had critics loving it. Just real quick now, I got to touch on Vivian Dalton's top 10. And this is a list of things to do when you're quarantined and you're practicing social distancing. So these are activities like I love watching I Love Lucy episodes, baking, which is listed twice, feather dusting the knickknacks, pushing the carpet sweeper around. And there are lots of other fun things, including sneaking a Lucky Strike, a smoke break in the little attic room. But this is just such a cute list, Gretchen.
Thank you. Yeah, I figured like right now, I mean, with everybody being, stuck at home, and everything is so uncertain. It's really, I kind of wanted to, what would my characters be doing right now? So that you've got the Vivian one, and I'm doing a Betty one as well. Betty's sort of her nemesis. So yeah, just like what would they be doing if they were stuck inside and couldn't get out and be social like they normally would? Because I feel like that was a really super social time back then.
Yeah, I love that baking is listed twice, and it's so fun to see what your characters would be doing if they were living in this time. So it's a fun list. Thank you so much, Gretchen, for joining us. It's wonderful to see you.
Thanks.
Absolutely. And I love that you encourage people to visit their local bookstores to find your book. And people can do that and find the operator. They can also go to your website. You can find more more about Gretchen and the book if you go to gretchenbergbooks.com. But again, she asks that you first check out your local bookstore and support them. Wonderful. Thank you so much.